normal. I'm just in my underwear making food.
I mean, it's definitely
or
normalized
taking
in today's
pictures.
culture. That is
So
for
yeah,
sure.
I suppose
There's nothing wrong with it.
Yeah, it's obviously dopamine. But what am I meant to do?
I'm a tourist, but I don't really
believe in it. I'm very spiritual. I find it very tame, but I think other people find it very sexy.
There's a study that showed that men find women in underwear actually more sexy than women who are naked. Yo guys, welcome back to another episode on my channel. I'm sitting in this spot, which means I've got a great conversation lined up for you today. You know, on this channel, we love to talk about all things dating, relationships, and seeing what we can do to attract the kind of person we want. So without further ado, please welcome Eliza to the show. Eliza, welcome.
Hi.
How are you doing today?
Yeah, no, I'm well.
Yeah. You look well. I know we've had a bit of a stressful time this morning.
A bit of a rough time in the rain.
I know the storm is crazy. It's crazy. But I want us to jump straight in. Okay. So I always ask. So first, tell us your age or your age range. Asking a lady her age, and then something a guy should know about you if he was going to take you on a date.
Okay, so I'm 36. As far as I know, I do forget my age. Somehow, I'm not like consistently sure, but I'm pretty 100% I'm 36.
Okay.
And if someone was going to take me on a date, what
should he know about you?
Probably as little as possible.
Really? Why?
Because there's too much going on.
As in too much to know, or too much going on in your life right now? I've
got a lot going on, so I wouldn't really want to tell him like too much, other than maybe that I'm a vegan.
Okay. Yeah. I hear that. Has that ever been like a deal breaker for you if you've met a guy and you don't?
No, it doesn't matter whether they're vegan or not, but there's nothing. I'm just an open person, so it's not like I don't have anything set in stone for anything.
Yeah.
So I would never say you need to know this about me. I've had a very interesting life, so
yeah, of course.
If I'm dating someone, it's a gradual process of getting to know each other.
Yeah.
And at first, everything's superficial anyway. So
I
just say I'm vegan, which is really irrelevant because I do my own cooking anyway. And I wouldn't care if he's vegan or not. So
yeah, sure. Is there something that you feel you look for in a guy today that you weren't looking for in him, let's say 10, 15 years ago?
I'd say stability is the main thing, because if I was going to meet someone and have a relationship and see myself having a future with them, we'd need to be like stable. Financially, in their career. That's quite important, I would think.
And when did that shift happen where you started looking for stability and that became more of a priority?
I haven't been looking, firstly, so I'm just not looking. I haven't been looking for that. So but when I think about if I was to find someone, that's a quality that it's always been there, but I'd say now it's very important.
Okay. And why is it increased in importance for you?
Because obviously if you're going to have a family with someone and be with them for the rest of your life, stability's always been important to me. That's, as a tourist, stability is very important. We're very earth signs.
As a tourist.
We need to have like grounding, and we need that security because we're very loyal people.
Okay. Do you heavily subscribe to star signs? Like...
No, not at all.
Oh, okay.
No.
I'm a tourist, but I don't really
believe in it. I'm very spiritual.
Sure.
So that's my whole thing. I'm just a spiritual person, everything about me. So obviously I'm not an astrologer, so I take it seriously. I have a friend who's an astrologer. So he would like read my chart for me, but I don't personally know a lot. But it is, I believe it 100%. The stars, how they align, affects us. The planets affect us. I believe that. So
interesting.
Yeah, I don't share. The thing with me is, probably one thing he should know is,
go on.
I don't share the same beliefs as probably 99% of people.
Okay.
I'm very much eccentric and out there, and I'm very much myself. And that's how I am. Yeah.
I mean, always be authentically yourself, you know. I mean, you know, attractive women, I assume you've been approached by guys over the past 10, 15 years, etc. You know, is that the case, or would you say not really?
So I'd say I was in a sort of long distance relationship with someone, and I don't think I get approached a lot. In my personal opinion, maybe a little bit. I think I'm not, because as I say, I haven't been actively looking for it. I don't think I've been very open to it. to be honest, because as you say, you say I'm an attractive person. So logically you would think that would be happening. So probably has been, but I'm too wrapped up in
life
and everything else to comprehend what's happening around me.
That's
as
so
you probably
funny.
witnessed.
Have you had it where, for example, like a guy said, hey, like I like you, I've been into you and stuff, and he'd been given all these cues this whole time, but you just never noticed? Because I feel like usually women know. Like women pick up better than guys a lot of the time.
Yes, that has happened before, sort of. Okay. Maybe.
What happened there? Were you like open to it with him or no?
So we kind of like, I think some part of you likes a person, but then some part of you
just
doesn't
move the mic a bit close to you.
like them in a certain way. So kind of open it, kind of no.
Was it more platonic for you? Like, nah, this guy's just more of a friend. There wasn't that attraction.
It was more,
for you?
I think it's more my overthinking of like probably being too deep about something. So overthinking everything too much and then thinking no.
Is it thinking, we say overthinking as in,
like thinking,
do you see yourself with him? Could we have kids? That kind of stuff?
Yeah,
or
I think
does
so.
he like me for me? Or
not does he like me for me, more just is a personal thing. So I haven't been in a place personally where I've wanted to stay. I haven't wanted to stay in the place I've been because I haven't been in the best place. Things around me haven't been ideal. So it hasn't been the right time because anyone who I would meet would be in the same place as me, which is a place I'm trying to get out of.
So when you say same place, like what do you mean by that?
Like I just had it's probably, I've should have I've just had a huge load of stress.
Sure.
Happening.
Okay, you mean
so like,
in your life for
so
yourself,
as
like
I've been trying to
settling.
say, because of that, I haven't actively been looking for someone. I've been very much on my own. I've had a long distance relationship, which was nice because we saw each other in like nice times, like holiday, nice times like that. But I haven't really been looking for someone so much because it hasn't been a priority for me. I work a lot. I haven't been wanting to like date. I haven't always been in a great financial situation. So it's like, how am I going to attract someone? I can't be in a poor financial situation, but need a partner I need to be in a better situation, and then I can get the partner that I could gel with. Yeah,
I hear that. I think actually as a woman, your financial situation, good or bad, wouldn't affect whether a guy wants to be with you.
That's true.
Generally, that's more the case for the male experience. Like if a guy's in not a great financial situation and stuff like that, then that will affect whether a woman could see him long term. I mean, you said yourself, right? You value a guy, you value stability in a guy, right? You look for that, like you said, financial stability, etc. if you're going to have a family. So for a guy, it very much can be like, okay, I would be open to it, but my financial situation isn't great. So I'm not going to be able to invite a woman into my life the way she would want to come into my life. As a woman, though, that's kind of a luxury you have. You don't need to be in a financially amazing place for a guy to be like, hey, I want to be there to support you and provide for you.
Well, the thing with me is because I'm a Taurus, it's very important to me stability. So if I haven't got my own foundations, it's going to impact every part of my being. So I'm not going to be able to show up for the guy I need. Because I need to be the woman he needs. And if I'm stressed, if I'm overworking, if I'm not in the place I should be, for me to feel okay within myself, because I quite know myself and how I should be. And if I'm not there, it's not going to work because I'm not going to be able to show up for him.
No, I hear that. And I actually think that's reasonable. It's a really good point to make, you know, having a foundation for yourself where you can feel settled for sure. And I guess, you know, you're saying to have that so you can show up in a great way. I'm just saying for a guy, he wouldn't disqualify you for it if that wasn't there. Does that make sense?
I mean, I think it's not just that, but I've had like a lot of stress happening and I've been trying to like navigate myself. And I have tried dating in the past, like 2019. I was like trying to date. I'd meet up with people, go for drinks. But it's hard for me because I'd say I'm not very well versed on how to date. So I don't know how to date. So then it's not for me. Yeah, I just don't like
dating's just not for you?
Dating's just not for me, like trying to meet up with random people. And then I don't mind. It's just very hard because how do you meet someone? I tried apps. That wasn't for me. I think what I'm trying to say is I tried apps. That wasn't for me because you're just meeting people. You both have an agenda. It doesn't work. It's not natural and organic. And I just haven't met people really. The only time I had a long distance relationship is because I met someone organically, like just face to face. And then I was able to just talk to them, interact with them. It's very hard for me to try and do like apps and all of these. So my dating has been very dry.
I get that. I know what you mean in terms of meeting someone online and you both meeting to go on a date to have an agenda. But even if you meet someone in person and if they ask you out, it's still the same thing. Like the reason they're asking you out is because she's attractive, she seems like a nice person, I'm gonna get to know her. So if someone meets you online, they're asking you out for the same thing.
It's hard. I don't know how everyone else finds it, but for me personally, I find it hard to communicate through WhatsApp and text messages. And I was in like a 10-year relationship. And then when I came out of that relationship, I tried to like interact with people just like naively, very trusting, very open, just taking everything at face value, not understanding really how men were because I was a lot younger and being manipulated, just, you know, trying to date. I just assumed if someone dated you, they'd want to be in a relationship with you.
Yeah, no,
because I'd been 17, met someone, we didn't date, we went to like the cinema dates, I guess.
A date?
Yeah, but we were like young and I was more of a teenager. I was still in school.
Yeah.
So I could have been younger. And then when we broke up, I was just not used to that people didn't just want to date and then be in a relationship. So then I just sort of gave up with that because it was too... I can't get to know people through texting and
I guess you don't have to. You could have phone calls, right? So like personally for me, I'm definitely more of a phone call kind of person. So I'd rather than texting all day, every day, I'm like, okay, let's have a phone call today and then we can catch up on, say Saturday. So on Monday, we can have a phone call then, you know, if I'm dating someone. And I think that's, personally, I think that's better because that's quality as opposed to quantity, right? I think it's much more valuable to dedicate an hour on FaceTime, catching up with someone what you did over the weekend, rather than just texting, hey, like, how was your weekend? And then you kind of just do that back and forth. And there's no right or wrong about it. But I'm saying I'm not much of a texter, but I think that really works for me. So like, have you ever done that or tried that?
I think it would work now, but I think what I'm trying to say is I haven't really been in the place to want it because now that's completely valid. I'm going back quite a long time ago to when I was dating.
Yeah, of course.
And I actually haven't been actively dating really. But yeah, I think a phone call's just fine. I think when you're in a specific place and you're really trying to change your situation, being with someone isn't on your list of priorities at all, really, because you're just in survival mode on your own.
Yeah.
And a man isn't just going to come and rescue you from your situation. So how is that going to help you? You need to get yourself out of a situation to be in a place where you can come as your best self. If you're not there, then you're not going to get the relationship you want and it's going to increase your stress. So I just cut the whole thing off.
Yeah, no, I get that. And I think that's reasonable. Do you think a lot of women feel like they're in a situation where they want a man to come and save them?
100%, yeah.
Interesting. Why do you think they have that mentality compared to where you
No, not compared to me. I had that mentality probably. It's not saying other people. What it is, of course, we're sold a fairy tale from a young age.
What is that fairy tale?
Well, it's just a fairy tale.
Yeah, but what's the fairy tale
princess.
that? Okay, yeah.
So we're sold some sort of idea that women, like you said yourself, are meant to be treated well, which they are.
Mm-hmm.
But then, life is sold as a fairy tale anyway. So it's not just about relationships. Life is just sold like that anyway.
Yeah.
So I don't know what I'm saying. Like, I have no idea.
No, yeah. I was just saying that, you know, you said that a lot of women have that mentality of, oh, a man's going to come and save me.
If you're loving this episode and these kinds of conversations, then I want to give you something. We recently launched the Kits Angels community. This is a sisterhood for women who are tired of what the dating scene has given them and are ready to take their love lives to the next level. It's a space for you as a woman to not be alone in your journey to love, where we learn, talk, and share our experiences as part of a strong sisterhood, with some leadership and guidance from yours truly, of course. Not to mention never before seen videos from me on how I've led dozens of women to meeting great men. And so as a thank you for watching this episode, I'm giving you a month's membership completely complimentary on me. Just click the Kits Angels link below, and when you join the group, message me the code phrase Angels Podcast and I will pay for your membership. Now back to the episode.
I think men and women both think, as human beings, we think if we have someone else, it will make our lives better. And actually, that is probably true.
Yeah, I agree.
That probably is true. If you have a companion, your life probably will be better.
Yeah.
And that's fair enough.
Yeah.
So
100%.
I think, obviously, women are looking for a man because it's like your other half. It should help you grow together.
Yeah.
They might think he's going to take them out of a situation. That's an idea that could be put out through, you know, subconsciously from a young age of being sold that through the media. Subconsciously, you could be thinking that. And men may also think they've got some sort of woman that's going to take their mother's role over and look after them or something, or be completely passive to anything. I don't know what they're sold. But it works both ways.
Yeah, I do think it's natural that men and women look for in a long-term partner, like if they've got like good relationships with their parents, for example, they'll look for in their partner the things that their parents did bring to them. So for example, ideally if someone's raised in a two-parent household, which is the most ideal, where both parents are together, loving the family, stable home foundation, a lot of the time women will look for a guy who can protect and provide. And the person who did that for her was her father, right? So they look for that quality in a man, right? A lot of the time, the guys will look for a woman who has that nurturing quality, makes him, provides, makes the house a home, provides that feminine space, that feminine element to his life. And the person who did that for him growing up was, of course, his mother.
Yeah.
So I think it's natural that we look for things that we valued in our parents and our partners, because especially if we come from a stable home, we go, okay, this is the formula which we know works. And this is the formula that we've been grown up with. So this is what resonates with us.
Okay.
Does that make sense?
Yeah, that does make sense.
I think the difference is, because I think a lot of women in relationships can sometimes feel like they're mothering their boyfriend or their partner, right? And I think part of that is because she feels like she has to tell him what to do, when actually there's ways she can use her feminine to inspire him.
Okay.
Because when we tell someone to do something, you can only tell someone from a place of authority. And the mother is the feminine plus authority, but the wife is the feminine, right? In terms of within the man's life. So, it's like the difference between saying, oh, babe, I told you to, you said you'd do the dishes last night, can you go do them? Trying to tell him to do it. It's actually communicating, hey, babe, you said that you would do this and it's not been done. One thing I value about you is that you're a man of your word. Yeah. Because that makes me feel safe within the relationship. She's actually asking for the same thing. One way she's trying to tell him to do it, which is like the mothering. And the other way she's inspiring him to do it. Because in that version, he does go, well, I am a man of my word. I do want her to feel safe and secure because I love this woman. And so he'll start doing it and she doesn't even have to ask him to, because of now the meaning she has applied to it, as opposed to, can you just do this so I can, or as opposed for him, it's like, I'm just going to do this so I can get her off my back. Do you know what I mean? And obviously, it takes on the man to be a good man of intention, and character. But yeah, and I think yeah, guys will look, if he wants to have a family, he's going to look for qualities that he believes is going to make her a good mother. Does that make sense?
Yeah, it does.
But I am interested, you said that before, you had a similar mentality of, maybe wanting a man to come and save you in this situation, and now you've kind of stepped into...
I don't think so. I wouldn't say really. I mean...
Oh, it's because you said you felt you had it before.
Maybe,
Okay.
but I don't know. I'm very independent. That's the thing. It's not like I've ever thought a man's going to save me. I probably just thought it's going to make my life better.
Sure.
Then I started dating and it was just stress. And what you've just said, because I don't come from a stable 2-parent background, probably I haven't seen those healthy relationships as much between. So I haven't even, that's what I said, I haven't been able to come to date because I haven't been able to be at that place of that female of how she should be.
Yeah.
So I haven't been, but maybe in the past I did think, but not really. I think that fairy tale is sold to us.
100%.
But then life is, as I said, as a fairy tale, and coming from a 2-parent background is sold to you as that's, so it is what it is.
Yeah. I think I would never say that if you don't come from a 2-parent background, you then can't have a loving family of your own. I think it might mean that we have to do a bit more work and due diligence and guidance in terms of, okay, this is, if we go, okay, this is what I want, what values and qualities do we need to look for and aspire to and prioritize that contributes to that, even if we didn't have that ourselves. But sometimes for some people, they go the opposite, right? So like, for example, it's like if somebody comes from, if you have 2 boys and they had a very alcoholic father, it's not uncommon that, okay, one boy becomes an alcoholic like his father and the other guy becomes, I'm never drinking alcohol. So sometimes it can happen where somebody comes from a, and not a stable family home and they go, I never want that for my life or my kid's life. So I'm going to choose the exact opposite kind of man or woman, compared to what my parent chose. Does that make sense?
Yeah, it does.
And I think having the awareness, and yeah, sure, it takes more growth in yourself compared to the person who just had that. Do you know what I mean? And it was just naturally instilled in them. But I truly believe that we are the agencies of our own destiny. And so we can decide who we want to be and who we want to be for someone else. And that doesn't mean that for some people, we're all dealt with different cards in life. But it's not about what cards you're dealt, it's how you play your hand.
100%.
Does that make sense?
Yeah, it does.
What do you think men get wrong about you?
Oh, everything. I think everyone gets everything wrong about me. Everything, I would say.
Okay.
Because I come across very differently to how I am, because I'm...
Go on.
So I think men would assume that I'm very sociable and I want to go partying and this sort of lifestyle, whereas I'm pretty much the opposite.
Okay, why do they think you're like a party social girl?
I think I look like that because I have clothes on Instagram where I'm not wearing. So it depends. I feel people on Instagram would get the wrong idea of me sometimes because of how through modeling and through just doing small
content
little things,
and stuff.
You're in a bikini or you're in a dress and you might not even really dress like that regularly or as a one-off, but because you're showing flesh, men may think you're promiscuous or they may think you're dating everyone and you're putting yourself out there to people, but in fact, you're actually doing the opposite. So they might get that wrong.
Yeah, I understand that. I think a lot of guys would ask if what you put out online is a misrepresentation of who you are. Why do you put that stuff online? I'm
trying to improve it. So everything genuinely. I have a vision of how I want my image to how I want to be. I'm really, I do so much yoga every morning, 90 minutes. I don't actually like how I portray myself online. It's just all I can manage to do with my limited resources.
What, post half naked photos online? Or?
Well, Half naked photos online. I mean, no, I don't think they look bad, my pictures.
No, I think not bad. It's just
what I'm trying to
misrepresentation.
say is I still would post half naked online.
Mm-hmm.
I'm very confident in my body.
Yeah, of course.
So unless I have no problem with posting, when I say I don't like it, I'm trying to improve my content creation.
Yeah,
to me,
yeah.
It's not where I want it to be.
Yeah, no,
personally.
I hear that.
And I'm just trying my best, but I take any constructive feedback from anyone because I'm personally not 100%.
Yeah, of course. I mean,
with
we're all growing. I think, is there through the algorithm, like social media and stuff, because
Yes.
a lot of girls will say as well that have told me that posting like half naked sexy photos will get more engagement, more likes, more comments compared to something that is more quote unquote tame, but maybe represents her more authentically. Do you think that some girls who maybe feel that the way that their online presence misrepresents them, is there is that a trap, that dopamine trap, and that reinforcement?
Trap, but at the same time, I do like it online because it's nice to have an outlet where you can express yourself.
For sure.
And I'd say the algorithm definitely values sexy content and pushes it out more.
Yeah.
And even though that doesn't necessarily represent me, I still find it fun and I still love it.
But is that a trap though? Because you said that kind of stuff, like you said, it misrepresents you.
No, because you can do both. You can have different pictures. It's just fun. Like I'm a performer, you know, as a job. So it's nice to like perform, do pictures, dress up, model. I enjoy that. So
yeah, I get that.
For me, it's something I enjoy personally. And it's almost sometimes, as you wouldn't always dress like that, it's like nice to have that. You know, it's art in a way.
Sure.
I'm not saying what I do is art, but I'm saying
you can say that too.
A way to express yourself is how you dress.
Yes.
So it's nice.
Do you think that if the algorithm and what got more likes and comments, engagement was the more, let's say, the more tame stuff compared to the sexy stuff, do you think you would do more of that because you're getting more positive reinforcement? Or do you think you would still express yourself in the sexy lingerie
I haven't
stuff?
got a whole load of sexy stuff. My stuff is very tame, in my opinion.
So what do you think misrepresents you then?
I just think I find it very tame, but I think other people find it very sexy to have it being in an underwear, or to me it's just normal.
I mean, that's pretty sexy, right? If you're going to be in your underwear, that's pretty sexy.
Yeah, it is a bit, kind of. Yeah, I guess so.
Do you know what's so funny? Actually, there was a study that showed that men find women in underwear actually more sexy than women who are naked.
Really?
Yeah, because it's like you still can see her body and her shape and everything.
I didn't know that. That's interesting.
But there's still an element of mystery and curiosity there.
I see. Okay.
So,
I haven't got a whole load of pictures in my underwear, to be fair.
Yeah. I was just asking about the photos you said you felt misrepresented.
I think the algorithm definitely does value that sort of content. And if the algorithm other different content, then maybe, but I'm not boring. I'm very So I think it, even though, you know, I don't see a huge problem with it.
No, not a problem. I was just saying that, you know, I think if you felt something's misrepresented you, I was like, okay, what's the incentive to still post those things?
But I like that misrepresentation in a way.
Oh.
In a way,
that's interesting.
Because it's like, I'm so boring. I feel like I'm so boring. I contradict myself and I just like having something that's just
completely different.
It's not completely different, but it's hard for me to even answer your questions if you can't tell. So
I think sometimes we can do things as human beings, but we don't know why because we never asked ourselves why.
That's probably it.
And that's what I'm doing. I'm asking why do you think you do it? I think it's important to know.
I just find it normal. As I said, I'm just like, it's just normal. I'm just in my underwear making food. I mean, it's definitely normalized in today's culture.
That is for sure.
I suppose.
There's nothing wrong with it.
Yeah, it's obviously dopamine, but what am I meant to do?
Well, I mean, there's no right or wrong. There's just pros and cons to everything, right? Because I know this stemmed from you felt that guys get this wrong impression of you.
Oh yeah, they do because of that.
Right. So
they do, but I don't mind. That's up to them.
Sure.
And then that's it.
If you're happy to contend with that, then you're like, cool. I accept that this comes with the territory, that maybe a guy will get a wrong impression of me, but I have to contend with that.
If I meet someone, I'm not going to exchange Instagrams with him. If I'm dating, I will when he gets, I will, but I'm not, that's not something for me. If I'm going to meet someone and date, I want to have a phone call and I want to meet up.
Yeah, for sure.
Instagram as a way to get to know someone is for me a red no.
Oh, no, I agree with that.
So when they know me, they can be taking my pictures or we can be taking pictures together and they can see my Instagram, but it's not a way, I don't care how I'm viewed by people if they get the wrong impression.
Sure.
But if I'm meeting someone to date, they're going to just meet me in real life. So
yeah, I get that.
Then the Instagram thing we can talk about and then I can tell them. And
yeah, there you go.
If they don't like it, then it will just be like, that's it, isn't it?
Yeah. We're going to wrap it there. This had to be a short episode for you. She's got somewhere to be. But we appreciate you coming on and showing your
Thank
energy.
You so much.
If people want to find you, follow your content and everything, where can they find you?
So they can find me on Instagram. My Instagram's Pines_Eliza. So it's PINES.
Yep.
For the third eye there.
Nice.
And _Eliza.
Awesome. Perfect. Well, thanks for joining us today. We appreciate your energy. Guys, go show Eliza some love. Give her a follow. Give her a like. She's got different kinds of photos on her Instagram and stuff. So, see what kind of energy and vibe she has and show her that good love. But thank you for coming on. Guys, thank you for tuning in. And I will see you in the next episode.